ladies, this is Jamie. You've reached She's Everyday. I am going to talk to you about one thing that you need to do in the middle of a breakup or after the breakup, this one little thing that your ex will notice. This is something that most breakup experts or videos will never tell you to do. In fact, you will receive advice that tells you you're too good for him, he's a jerk, move on. The advice will tell you it's all his fault. He didn't know what he had when he had it. Those are all great things to hear. And it may be really good advice. It may be true advice. It may be advice that I give you in other videos. However, there is one thing that experts won't tell you that I am going to tell you, and it makes all the difference in the world. Not only to get your ex's attention, most of the time he comes back around when you do this, but it also helps you to heal. That one piece of advice is to own it. Own the breakup. Now, let me stop you right here because you may be thinking, what? I'm not going to own the breakup. He was the one at fault. He cheated on me. He did this. He did that. Okay, hold on because I'm going to get to that. But first off, let me talk about owning the breakup if you were at fault. And just stay with me because we all can be at fault to some degree. And then I'm going to talk about how to own it when you weren't at fault and what does that look like. So if you look back on this relationship and you realize that you were a little bit crazy, you were witchy, you were controlling, you were jealous, you were passive aggressive, you gaslighted him, you tried to control every little thing about the relationship, you wanted everything to go your way, whatever, you just look back and you go, wow, I did not handle that well. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to send this guy a final reach out. And on my website, I have a couple of e-courses. One is called She Heals and one is called She's the One. Both of those e-courses talk about something called the final reach out. And it's a text that you're going to send this guy. And if you were at fault, it tells you exactly word for word what to say. Basically, you're going to own your mistakes. You're going to say, I would like to work on these. I've done some self-reflecting. I've realized that those things contributed to the deterioration of the relationship, and I'm willing to work on it. I hope you take me sincerely, whatever. If not, that's okay. I wish you the best. You have this level of confidence. You're humble, you're observant, you're willing to change. And he sees that when you send that text. Now get the e-course because it tells you exactly word for word how to say it. You don't want to ramble on, but you want to own your part. He is going to see you in a different light. Now, he may still be mad at you for acting the way you've acted, and he may want nothing to do with you. That's fine. There are other things you do. You go into no contact, you transform yourself, become a high value woman. I talk about all of this on my e-courses, exactly how to do it, the timeline, everything. So get one of those because it will help you. But that final reach out and owning your part in the breakup is critical because he's going to see that as a very humble thing and a very classy thing. Most people never want to admit that they are wrong, and he will run into people over and over again in his life that will never admit that they were wrong. But he will look back at you and realize that you were that one rare person that was self-reflective enough to know that you'd messed it up. Let's say you weren't really at fault, but he broke up with you and you went a little crazy, or the breakup happened and you got really sad and really anxious and you cried and you begged and you just really looked desperate, and it made him feel guilty, but it just also made you look pathetic, and he didn't want to get back together with you. And over time you realize, oh my gosh, I looked so foolish. I looked so desperate. I looked so needy. I hate that I looked that way. I hate that I kept reaching out to him at 2 o'clock in the morning and saying, I miss you. I just am so embarrassed by that. Okay, then here's what you do. You own it. You send him another final reach out and say, hey, I just want to apologize for the neediness that I displayed, for the anxiousness. I should never have put you in a position to feel guilty or bad. It was my heartache. I was dealing with a lot of things. I was in a process of healing. I wasn't in a good headspace. I had no emotional control, and I laid that all at your feet and tried to make you feel guilty enough to get back together with me, and that was wrong. I apologize. Please accept this apology, and I ask for your forgiveness. Whatever, something like that. Be real, be genuine. Now, you're going to leave it by saying, if you ever want to get back together or think you might, feel free to reach out. Maybe I'll be available, maybe I won't be. I will move on and heal from this. I hope you do the same. Something like that. So you let him know, hey, I would like to get back together. I would like to talk. I've admitted my shortcomings, but I am also going to move on. Again, get the e-course, she'severyday.com. I will link it in the description below so that you can phrase this in the appropriate way. Now, when you do that, he starts seeing you again as reflective, willing to change. She's so humble, but she also appears like she's found some strength and she's going to move on. So that transforms his mindset about you, and you need his mind to change about you, especially when you did some really foolish or crazy things. It may take him a while to change how he feels about you. So you're going to send the final reach out, you're going to own it, and then you're going to move on and do all the other things I tell you to do in my other videos and my e-course. And I promise you that if you do that, he will begin to see a change. Let's talk about when you are not at fault at all. He just did something really bad and you were great. Maybe he pushed you to break up with him. You didn't want to, but he did something so bad and you wish he would change. You want him to admit what he did, come back and say, hey, I want to work on this. I'm so sorry. Whatever. Let's say you want him back, but you were not at fault at all. Here's what I'm going to tell you about owning it. You have to own the fact that you chose him. You chose a bad guy. Maybe you've chosen several bad men in your past. I know I have. And I'm always reminded of the quote in the movie Pretty Woman. Julia Roberts says, I'm a bum magnet. If there is a bum within a 50-mile radius, I'm attracted. Maybe that has been you in the past. You just picked bad fellas. Maybe you saw the red flags and you ignored them. Maybe you made excuses for this guy. Perhaps you lowered your standards over and over and over again. Maybe you stayed way too long when you know you should have left. You knew he was a snake, but you convinced yourself that he wasn't that bad of a snake. He had all the signs of a snake. He was coiled up. He was hissing. He had the forked tongue. He was sneaky. But you still said he's a gentle snake. He's not that bad. So you at least have to own the fact that you chose him. You saw some signs and you didn't act on them. Here's what that does. Your ex will see you as classy. He will see you as rising above what he did. He will see your ability to accept your part and forgive. He will see you as a woman who is not bitter. Because if you don't own the part that you played, you will be revengeful, you will be bitter, you will be unforgiving, you will be angry, you will put up walls to protect yourself, you will play the victim, you will be nasty and trash his reputation. And that woman is not attractive. He will never want to come back to that woman, even if he changes, even if he realizes the error of his ways and he repents. He's not going to come back to you because now you have transformed into this super angry, bitter person. And nobody wants to be around her. Nobody wants to be around someone that has this ball and chain hooked to their leg and they just drag this strife and this unease with them everywhere. You allow yourself to play the victim or slip into this revenge mode for too long, that is when he is still controlling you. It's normal to feel those feelings for a while, but he controls you day after day after day if you still hold on to that. So owning the fact that you chose him helps you to let go. And when you let go, it helps you to heal. And ladies, that is ultimately what I want to see happen in your life. In any of these situations, if you own your part, this guy is ultimately going to look back at you and go, wow, she's great. I really messed it up. She was so angry and vengeful with me for a short time. And now she seems like she's kind. She's almost pitying me in not an outright way, but you've risen to the point that you know that what happened to you taught you a lesson and it hurt, but it wasn't a fatal wound. And now you're stronger, you're more courageous, you're more loving. You're still a little leery. You're not just completely trusting. You still have a few little walls, but you're wise. And that woman is very attractive. In any of these scenarios, ladies, I want you to be the one that got away, the one he can't live without, the one that he wants to come back to. And then that's up to you whether you want him back or not. But I tell you exactly how to do that on my website, she'severyday.com. It's linked in the description below. Ladies, I want to see you win. God bless you. Hit the like, hit the follow, hit the subscribe. I will see you in the next video.